Yesterday afternoon, a rocket company bought an option on a text editor. Elon Musk's SpaceX signed a deal where it can acquire Cursor, the AI coding startup, for $60 billion later this year, or just pay $10 billion if it feels like walking away. Cursor was worth $2.5 billion 16 months ago. The company is now hitting $2 billion of annual revenue with 50 employees. That is $40 million of revenue per head, which is roughly double what the next most efficient software company on Earth produces. And SpaceX is not buying a code editor. It is buying a customer for the biggest GPU farm on planet Earth. Before you roll your eyes at another Musk trillion-dollar tweet, the terms here are genuinely unusual. The announcement went out on X as a joint statement. SpaceXAI and Cursor are now working closely together. XAI will rent Cursor tens of thousands of chips from the Colossus supercomputer in Memphis. Cursor will train its own frontier coding model on that compute. And SpaceX gets a call option. Either it pays $10 billion for the work, or it absorbs the whole company for $60 billion, no middle ground. The clock starts ticking immediately, and it runs out sometime before New Year. In today's video, we will break down why Cursor said yes, why SpaceX needed this so badly, and the one word that makes a third of Cursor's customers very nervous. Here's the problem. Cursor ran into. The company was founded by 4 MIT dropouts in 2022. Michael Truel, Swaleh Asif, Arvid Lundmark, and Aman Sanger. Their pitch was stupidly simple. Fork VS Code, glue Claude to it, ship that worked shockingly well, revenue went from 100 million to 2 billion in roughly a year. Every engineer you know now runs Cursor as their default editor, or they are loudly pretending they do not. But Cursor's best feature, the autocomplete model called Composer, needed to keep getting smarter. And smart needs GPUs. A lot of them, Anthropic and OpenAI, have GPUs. They also have competing coding products, Claude Code and Codex, that are eating Cursor's lunch in exactly the same market. Cursor could not keep paying retail for tokens to the same labs trying to kill it. It needed its own compute, its own model, and its own training corpus. There are only 3 people on the planet who own enough chips to train a frontier model: Google, Microsoft, and Elon. It is April 22nd, 2026. You're reading indiehacker.news. Now rewind a few months. In February, Musk quietly merged SpaceX and XAI into $1 trillion entity. That merger only makes sense if you believe the real bottleneck for AI is electricity and real estate, which SpaceX happens to have in spades. Colossus, the Memphis supercomputer, now houses over 200,000 GPUs with plans for a full million by the end of this year. That kind of silicon idling is financially painful. Meanwhile, XAI's own coding product, Grok Code, was getting demolished by Claude Code and Codex in every head-to-head benchmark developers actually trust. Musk had the compute, he did not have the developers. Cursor had the developers, it did not have the compute. 2 weeks before the deal, 2 of Cursor's top engineering leaders, Andrew Milich and Jason Ginsberg, quietly left for XAI. They now report directly to Musk. That is not a leak. That is a handshake, okay? So what is Cursor actually training? The public name is Composer. Version 1 shipped 6 months ago as their first agentic model, and it honestly kind of sucked compared to Claude version 1.5. Scaled reinforcement learning by more than 20 times, and the jump was visible. Version 2 added continued pre-training on top of an open-base model and hit frontier-level performance at a lower inference cost than anyone else shipping. The pattern here matters a lot. Cursor is not trying to build the biggest general-purpose model in the world. It is building the best model that has ever watched a human software engineer actually work. Every keystroke inside Cursor generates labeled training data. Every accepted suggestion is a thumbs up. Every rejected one is a thumbs down. Multiply that feedback loop by a few million paying developers, and you get the highest quality coding dataset on planet Earth, one that nobody else can reproduce without shipping a better editor first. Plug that into a million H100 equivalents on Colossus, and suddenly the gap between Composer and Claude closes very quickly. But there is a catch, and it is the reason half the comment threads on Hacker News went to war last night. That one word is Elon. Cursor's biggest customers are banks, healthcare systems, and Fortune 500 compliance departments. The kind of places where a single X post from your new majority parent can torch a multi-year contract. One top comment put it bluntly: the X brand is absolutely toxic in enterprise. Those vendor relationships will evaporate the minute procurement hears about the Musk connection. Another pointed out that Cursor now pays retail for tokens to Anthropic while competing against them, and also sends its private training corpus to a company run by someone who live tweets M&A decisions. If you're a CTO at a bank, you do not want your code base on Colossus. If you're a founder, you love the optionality. This is the deal. It is not a clean win. It is a bet that 50 billion in compute access beats however many enterprise logos walk. Zoom out, and here is what just happened. The AI coding layer is consolidating faster than anyone expected just a year ago. Cursor just picked a camp, and in doing so, it triggered a scramble. Anthropic and OpenAI are now officially enemies, not partners, because the editor they were powering just got bought by the rocket guy. Expect Claude Code and Codex to get way more aggressive on pricing features and enterprise lock-in starting this week, and every founder shipping any kind of coding agent should be asking the exact same question Musk just answered with $60 billion on the line. Who owns the silicon that your intelligence actually runs on? If you rent it from a competitor, you're living on borrowed time. If you want the full daily breakdown of this deal, who is moving, and what it means for the rest of the AI coding market, the Indie Hacker newsletter has it. Link in the description. I'm out.